Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. I'm so happy to be back. I see a lot of familiar faces. So if you don't know, we're actually live every single Thursday with some sort of training. I wanted to make the first training of 2025 to be super, super awesome. So here we are. Yeah, so every single Thursday we are live here. And so we've been off for 3 weeks. We had the holidays and we were traveling. So hopefully everyone had a really great holiday season. Happy New Year and welcome. So I would love to know where you are located. Hey, Ed, good to see you. If you want to chat that would be awesome. Otherwise, we are going to get started here in a minute. Oh, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, awesome. Ooh, Houston. Are you getting snow? My husband's family lives in Harrisburg, so cool. Oh, Miami. I think it's even cold down there. So we actually just got back from Maui. So as soon as we stepped out of Chicago Airport, I froze. We got back early yesterday morning. There was a delay, so very cold and windy. I appreciate everyone being here. I want to make good use of our time. I really, really like to make things conversational. So if you have a question, I'm encouraging you to post it in the chat. I'll either pause or I will get to the questions at the end, but I do like to answer questions because with this type of niche, there's always questions that come up. Oh, Dallas, okay. I'm lost with days, Donna, and what's going on. Welcome, Elizabeth. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Cover myself up there. All right. Like I said, we're here every single Thursday. I do send out emails and stuff about it. So everyone will get this recording once we are done. Yes, Lola, how are you? Good to see you. You missed the earlier session. Philadelphia. Awesome. All right, so today I wanted to talk about bankruptcy leads. I had a lot of response to this class. It's actually a really, really good lead source. And we're going to talk about how I've gotten to that, some steps to get there. But it really, really was a game changer for me many, many, many years ago. That's okay, Lola. We'll forgive you. It's a new year, right? I'm just thankful I remembered to get on because I don't know what's going on. All right. So for all of you that don't know, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background on myself. My name is Heather Keller. So hello. I began my short sale journey in 2007. So I've been handling these wacky short sales, distress situations for a very long time. We could probably sit here and talk about all of the different stories that I have. So I am in Illinois, the western suburbs of Chicago, about an hour or so west of Chicago. I have two boys, Brookston and Colston, and I'm going to give you 3 fun facts. So many of you probably have heard this story. I'm not going to go into it because we probably don't have time, but I had a seller on the run for murder. I did close that short sale. He's actually still on the America's 15 most wanted list, has not been caught yet. Fun fact number 2, I love to read. So if you have any recommendations for thrillers, feel free to message me. I'm actually on my 5th book of the year. When we were in Maui for 10 days, I read 6 books. So I love to read. Yes, I love, love, love thrillers. Love them. So feel free to message me, Katie. All right, fun fact number 3, I have lots of passions, but I really enjoy lifting weights and my nutrition. It's like my non-negotiable. Just makes me feel overall very good. So self-care is really important. If you have not implemented that, I highly recommend it for 2025 and beyond. routine, it takes time, but once you get in a routine, it's awesome. So I have a passion for teaching. So many of you have been on my trainings before. If you haven't, hopefully you love it and you want to come back. But I really love spreading the knowledge regarding short sales, mainly because I know that if I help you, it's ultimately going to help the homeowners. So that is why in 2019, I founded Blueprint Short Sales, really to educate and teach and hold the agents' hands who really, really want to get into this niche. So inside of our community, our mission is to help 10,000 families. So whoever's a part of the community, which I know there's a couple of you, don't tell the number, but any guesses on how many families we've helped so far? We just released the final number for 2024. Now, this is an ongoing number, so it's not like yearly or anything. Our goal is to get to 10,000. Any guesses? Casey says 50, almost 5,900. That's a good, I wish it was that much, not quite. So we're actually at 3,200, 35, good. So the way that we do that is every single month, the beginning of the month, we update our numbers. So right now we're at 2,000, oh gosh, 2,675. Did I say that right? I gotta just check. We just posted it this morning. 2,765 families. So that gets updated on a monthly basis. So we're very much into that mission. Yeah, so if you have questions about that, feel free to ask. All right, let's move on. So you're here because of bankruptcy leads. So let's talk about that. Why bankruptcy leads? Why do I love them? Okay. Well, we're going to first start with some stats. So here's some things that I'm going to actually show you something. So bankruptcy filings typically are always higher in Q1 of each year. Anyone know why? Probably a good guess. Consumer debt is high. A lot of people spend a lot around the Christmas holiday. I mean, taxes are always an issue, so that's good response, Tracy. It's just a lot. So Q1 is always super high with bankruptcies, okay? They are currently on the rise and they are increasing. How do I know this? Well, I have lots of relationships with bankruptcy attorneys, not only here locally, but I do have them across the country that I do mingle with, and I always ask them. I'm always curious. I love data. Let's just take a look at this and, the contributing factors. So debt is increasing. Household debt ticks up to 17.94 trillion. Okay, that is insane. So when someone can no longer use their credit and the debt, well, they end up filing a bankruptcy. So that's why they're on a rise. They're on the rise because of the expensive cost of living right now. Taxes are crazy. Medical debt, medical expenses are like one of the top reasons why people file for bankruptcy. So this is crazy. So I just thought, kind of interesting to see all of this data, okay? The interest rates were low a while ago, but people are also shouldn't have bought that house essentially. So, they're qualifying for more, they're just taking on more debt, more debt, more debt. So bankruptcies have slowly started to tick up. Anyone work with bankruptcy leads right now? Hey, well, you're all going to want to after today. Okay. So yeah, I just thought this was kind of interesting. Oh, you just got your first chapter 7. Awesome. So we're going to talk a little bit about the difference, but just know you're here because I'm going to give you an overview of bankruptcy leads. And I want you to understand that, the household debt, credit reports, all of it, it is on the rise. Something's got to give, right? All right. So I thought that was kind of interesting. All right, let's go back. Okay, so this is what we're going to discuss today. We're going to briefly, now I'm not a bankruptcy attorney. It's very important that your clients also know that you are not an attorney. However, I've done hundreds and hundreds of these types of transactions, and I know how it works hand in hand, but I also have very good relationships with my bankruptcy attorneys. So we're going to talk briefly about Chapter 7 versus Chapter 13. We're going to do an overview on how to make. So there's like 5 steps I got for you. So if you're taking notes, feel free to write down the 5 steps. Again, this is being recorded and you will all get an email with the recording tomorrow. And then what is my secret weapon? Okay, so I'm going to show you that. All righty. So let's talk about Chapter 7. So I'm going to go kind of talk about slide 6 and 7 together because it's Chapter 7 and Chapter 13. So it is important to kind of just know the overview, okay? So Chapter 7 is essentially wiping away all of the debt, okay? So there are different qualifications, so that's why it's really important, and we'll talk about relationships with bankruptcy attorneys soon. It's important to, you don't necessarily need to know that, but the bankruptcy attorney would come in. But there is, you can't make a certain amount. Now that's going to vary depending on where you're at. So not everyone is going to qualify for a 7. I don't know all of the qualifications. Again, I just know Chapter 7, you know, sometimes they have a house, sometimes they don't. But Chapter 7 is wiping away the debt. Okay, so let's just say they got 50,000 in debt. They get rid of all of it. There's a process. Okay, so for both bankruptcies, there'll be a 341 meeting, which is a meeting with the creditors. That's approximately 30 days after they file. Okay, and that's important to know that because sometimes you can't list a house until after that 341 meeting. Okay, but Chapter 7 wipes away the debt, and then they will get a discharge. Maybe 90 to 120 days later. Again, that is going to vary depending on where you're located. Okay. Chapter 13, that is a debt consolidation plan. So I don't know how they come up with those numbers, right? What your monthly payment will be. But essentially, the homeowners are making a debt payment for their debt, and then they're making like a mortgage payment. The problem with that is a lot of times they get into the 13 and then they realize that it's too much for them because they're making a mortgage payment, but they also have to make up for all the rears. So like if they're a year behind, that's going to be tacked on to that mortgage payment. It's a lot. So a lot of people end up getting their cases dismissed and they'll just continue to refile. It's crazy. Okay. So just know that there is definitely some differences, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we go into specifics of listing the house. Okay. Any questions on a 7 or a 13? I will get a little bit more details and things that you may need when you're selling a house in the steps. Okay. All right. Like I said, if you have questions, yeah. So 13, you can still keep the house as long as you're making the payments. But remember, 13, there's a lot of debt that they have to pay back typically. Okay. So it's 13 is 3 to 5 year plan, and they can keep the house. But if they stop making those payments, then the 13 is going to move towards dismissal. And then the bank will start right where it left off with the foreclosure, okay? And like I said, we do get a little bit more into detail on that when I give you the steps, okay? All righty. So now, oops, now we're gonna let me just think about this, okay? So just imagine. I took on these bankruptcy leads many, 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 many years ago, okay? It is my #1 lead source. My #2 is auction families, okay? So do some months I get no leads? Yeah, some months I get 4. Some months I think when a while ago it was like I remember the most listings I put up in a week from bankruptcy was 10. Okay. So it is 100% doable on average to get 2+ listings per month. Okay. That's just from this lead source. Okay. We're going to talk about long-term relationships, which leads to long-term lead source. I know that because we track all of this. Okay. Someone telling you what to do and when to do it. So just think about all that stuff as we go through these steps. And again, if you're taking notes, make sure you write down all the steps and stuff, okay? So just think about that. I know a lot of you are looking at ways to get listings. You want to stand out and you want to be different, you got to take on something that not a lot of people are doing. Is it complicated? It can be, but you got to be a part of a community and understand and get that proper help, right? Doesn't have to be complicated, I guess is what I'm really saying. You don't want to be the same old agent taking on just buyers and sellers, right? Let's be different. All right. So step number one, you want to, how the heck do you find the data, right? You want to gather, you want to analyze, and there's one of my favorite words, organization. If you've been on my trainings before, you know that organization, consistency, and communication is really big. So, Property Radar. If you want the link to get a free trial, let me know and I can post it at the end, okay? So Property Radar back in June released bankruptcy data, which is something that we were waiting for. And it's so awesome. So we finally have put all of this together to be able to pull this data, okay? So I'm just gonna show you what I mean by that data, okay? All right, so let me go into my, I have two lists set up. So we're just gonna take a look at this person. So here's one out of many. So if you see inside of here, it's showing you the pig. That means they're in bankruptcy. So it shows both of them in bankruptcy, right? So this is why I love Property Radar. Not only can you find pre-foreclosure and auction data, you can also find bankruptcy data. So let's take a look. What is the bankruptcy data? So if you go under contacts, here it is, okay? So there's the case number. They filed a Chapter 13. It's open on December 26th. So that's brand new. We take a look at this and it shows all of the information, okay? Now, we're going to come back to this, which is absolutely huge. This is the attorney that filed the bankruptcy for him, or them, sorry. Okay, so just hold that thought. But that is how we have the data, okay? So you want to gather that data, you want to analyze the data, and you want to organize it. So that is why it's really important to set up these lists, right? So I actually have a huge training coming up with Property Radar. We have a dedicated rep that comes on and does trainings and stuff for us. And that's coming up. So I'll tell you about that in a little bit as well. But we have two lists set up. So we try to get organized. But the whole point here is Property Radar has the bankruptcy data. We want Chapter 7s. We want Chapter 13s. We want to know when the cases are open. We want to know if they're discharged. We want to know if they're dismissed. Okay. All right. So that first step, so you can write down Property Radar. You want to gather all of that data. Okay. Like I said, we have a Property Radar training coming up that I'll tell you about in a little bit. But that is number one, got to get that data. Now, I'm sure there's probably other sites that have this data, but let me tell you that in all of these years, I have tested every single lead source and I found that Property Radar was the best. So if you don't want to spend time and money with the trial and error, use Property Radar. Like I said, if you want the link for a free trial, I can give that to you at the end. Okay, questions on step one? If you do, feel free to post it in the chat, okay? Everyone hear me good? Okay, if you can't, let me know. Okay, step two. All right, so then once you gather this data and you analyze it, I highly recommend, looking to make sure if they're already listed. We really don't want to market to families that already have their house listed, but it does get very tricky when they're in a 7 or a 13 when they go to list or sell for that matter, okay? And we will talk about that. So I highly suggest, we don't want to sell to these. Hey, let me sell you on listing your home, right? Don't think that's a good idea when you're dealing with a distress situation. We want to educate the homeowner, okay? So we do use QR codes, and I would recommend using those. So it can be very simple, just a very simple letter. It could be a simple postcard with the QR code. What are you going to use what are you going to do with the QR codes? I would do a Chapter 7 QR code, and I would do a Chapter 13 QR code. And as we go further into the steps, I will give you more details of what you can include in that QR code. It's a really great way for homeowners to scan, see who you are, put a face with a name, okay? But we want to educate them. You would think that their bankruptcy attorney would explain all of that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We want to explain to these homeowners what happens to their house in a Chapter 7, especially if they didn't reaffirm the mortgage. What about in a Chapter 13? Can they even sell during this? So keep them short, but I would recommend, we've had the most success with, letters with a QR code on it. And you can create these QR codes in QR Generator, and then they will keep track of who watches your video. So it's pretty cool to track all of that, okay? But we want to keep things simple. If you are scared to death of doing videos, it is okay. I always tell people, you do not need perfect. These families need to see you, need to know that you're empathetic and you're compassionate about their situation, and that you really can hold their hand through this process, okay? But 7 and 13 are going to be different. So you want to create 2 different QR codes for that marketing piece, okay? I'd be happy to look at whatever, you're using as well. But we don't want to sell. Don't go at it, hey, you got to sell. You're in a 7. Sell, sell, sell. No. Let us help you understand what is going on through the 7 and the 13. And like I said, step 4 and 5 are going to talk more specifics about a 7 and 13, okay? All right, step 3. Here is where we're going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. When Property Radar launched the bankruptcy stuff back in June, I was waiting for this very moment. So not only can you connect with these bankruptcy families, doesn't matter if it's 7 or 13. So the whole goal here is to send out these mailings. Look, let me give you a little secret. You can't send out one mailing. You gotta be consistent. And I know Lola's a part of the coaching community, so she'll tell you, you have to be consistent, okay? That is key here. They should go out anytime you get a new case. And we talk about that, okay? So not only are you gonna connect with them, you could also potentially connect with their bankruptcy attorney. Yes, Lola says yes. Okay, so that is killing 2 birds with 1 stone. That is why it's so awesome that it's like Christmas morning for me, okay? So let's go back to this, all right? So when you're pulling that data, and we do pull weekly, okay? I don't go in every single day. We pull weekly. My team will update all of this information inside of our spreadsheet, okay? All right, well, here's the case number. They filed on this date. Who is the bankruptcy attorney? Oh, this guy. So we make note of that on our Google spreadsheet, and we can go and connect with them. So you'll start to see the same bankruptcy attorneys in this data. Connect with them. And I'm going to show you how to do that, okay? So it's really, like I said, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Hopefully you guys are all excited like I am. Send the letters to the homeowners. Connect with the bankruptcy attorney. So you're doing both. Now, you could wait for the homeowners to call you if you wanted and then ask them who their attorney was. But like I said, all of the information is right here. Bankruptcy leads and attorneys, #1 lead source for like 10 years, okay? You absolutely can do the same thing, but it's getting organized and being consistent, okay? A lot of families don't know their options when they're in a 7 or 13, and nor do the bankruptcy attorneys. So you are going to come in and you're going to add value to their firm, okay? The value is you, and you could potentially also add revenue to their firm as well. Super exciting stuff. Okay, anyone excited like I am? I know you are, Lola. All right, maybe it's just me, I'm the wacky one. All right. Okay, so step 4. Let's talk specifics about the Chapter 7 homeowners, okay? So for example, let me see if I can find inside of here a Chapter 7 versus a 13. I know you are, Lola. You've been around for a while, so you know I'm a bit wacky and fun, but see, there's a lot of Chapter 13s. Let me tell you why. There's a lot of Chapter 13s because homeowners want to keep their home. They do. They're in denial, and so they try to do a 13. So I may not find a 7 quickly. That's okay. Okay, that doesn't really matter. So we'll come back to this one when we do 13. But okay, so Chapter 7, again, when someone files, so let's just say someone files today, okay? A homeowner with equity is not going to be able to file a Chapter 7. But the way that we go about our business is we send out weekly letters to families in an auction status because they will call us and then they can explore the option of filing a bankruptcy with our attorneys. Why is that so important? Well, I'm able to give business to my attorney and we're in control of the process. If you file a bankruptcy when there's an auction, it temporarily, that is keyword, stops that date, okay? So a homeowner files a Chapter 7. Within 30 days or so, it varies, they are going to have a 341 meeting with their creditors. Now, most of them are done through Zoom. That is just confirming the bankruptcy, okay? And then I would say around 90 to 120 days, they're going to get discharged, okay? So let's talk about during that time. So I actually have a current short sale that is a Chapter 7. When they're in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, the creditors are not allowed to speak to them. So I have to have a relationship with that bankruptcy attorney, and it is mine. He actually gave me this deal. And so they meaning my attorney, John, he wrote an attorney consent letter allowing my team to speak to the bank on our seller's behalf. And the seller also signed an authorization. So we can complete the short sale during the active Chapter 7, but we cannot close on that short sale until the Chapter 7 has been discharged. Now, every situation does vary slightly, okay? But that's how it's going to be, okay? So I'm starting the short sale, but it's probably not going to be discharged till March. That's okay. Short sales take time anyways. The whole goal is to continue to build your pipeline. Now, rentals, let's talk about that. In a Chapter 7, well, any bankruptcy or short sale, people are like, well, how the heck are you getting people into rentals? That is actually a special training we did last year. I had, in my coaching community, I had Sean, my rental guy, come on and tell you how he gets people into rentals. Look, your clients may not get their first choice, but the whole goal is to start fresh. They've done the bankruptcy. Now they need to get out of the house, right? Landlords, no one is going to rent to them during a active Chapter 7, period, not happening. So you do need to wait till that discharge is complete with a Chapter 7 before you proceed with finding a rental, okay? So it's always good up front to ask, what are your plans? Maybe they're gonna go stay with family for a while. So it is important to ask that question. So that's a little bit on how the 7 works with closing and stuff. Questions on the 7 before I move to the 13? Okay. If there are, just post. Okay. So in a Chapter 13, remember this is debt consolidation. So a homeowner can sell at any time. So let's say they're in a Chapter 13, and every single month I check in with my bankruptcy attorneys. Hey, are there any cases that are getting ready to be dismissed? Connect me with them now. Because when a case is dismissed, the bank has the right to start where they left off in the foreclosure process. So that is why it's so great to have this knowledge, because you can spread it in your community. You can connect with the homeowners, you can connect with the bankruptcy attorneys. It is awesome. Not a lot of people know this type of information, okay? Once you get the short sale approved, the bankruptcy attorney will have to go to bankruptcy court and get what is called a motion to sell, okay? It's a motion to sell. I'll answer that question in just a second, Lola. So yeah, they're going to have to go to court. So if you have a Chapter 13 bankruptcy and you have a short sale approval letter, the bankruptcy attorney will have to go and get a motion to sell. Okay. The motion to stay happens when, say a Chapter 13 is being dismissed, the bank will do a motion to lift the stay from the property. Okay. Hopefully I'm not confusing you. If I am, tell me to pause. Okay, rentals in a Chapter 13 are actually doable. You can show the landlord that you're making payments in a 13, okay? It is a payment plan, so it is better. They can rent during a Chapter 13, which is different than a Chapter 7. So Chapter 7 sometimes is easier, sometimes it's Chapter 13, right? Okay, so Lola says with a Chapter 7, if they need to rent, what can we do to get them into a place? So in an active 7, there is nothing you can do. You have to wait until it's been discharged. No landlord, I guess I shouldn't say never. Maybe there would be one. But in my experience in all these years, we do have to wait till that Chapter 7 is discharged. Once it's officially discharged, then they could technically go and get like a small credit card and start rebuilding their credit. You do need to wait till that Chapter 7 is discharged. So timing is pretty key. All right. Okay, so what is my secret weapon? My secret weapon is, and if you've been on my calls before, you know that I've wrote a few books that our coaching members have access to. This is a brand new one that we have been working on since last June, okay? It is entitled The Ultimate Guide to Selling Your Home During or After Bankruptcy. Why is this my secret weapon? Well, it is going to educate the homeowner as to what is happening, what they can do during or after, okay? That is key. But what did I say earlier? Killing two birds with one stone. This is a fabulous resource, whether it's a physical copy or an online flip book, to have in the bankruptcy attorney's offices. Hey, Kimberly, missed you on this morning's session. I'll reach out to you later though, okay? Okay, so Lola has another question. They get to stay in the house until after the discharge. Yes. So when someone's in a short sale situation, I prefer the house not to be vacant, especially this time of year because it's cold as heck here in Chicago. And we don't want any burst pipes. So they can stay in the property during the entire short sale. Good question. All right, so let me just show you specifics a little bit on this book. So this is my book, but it is fully editable in Canva. So I'm just going to give you an idea of the contents, okay? So I do have a design coordinator, but what is really important with this book is to explain to these homeowners. So this is something you could drop off to them. You could send it to them. Yes, so the process, well, the foreclosure process is different in each state. Bankruptcy will vary slightly, Mary, but all of the resources that we have in this and this book, it's going to be the same, okay? So first one is an overview. So bankruptcy and beyond. We really want homeowners to know that there is life after bankruptcy. We give them some words of hope. Bankruptcy is a lot better than foreclosure, and that's where there's a lot of confusion. Everyone thinks foreclosure is better than bankruptcy. That is false. majority of our clients will file for bankruptcy and then proceed to sell. Okay. So we have the overview. Okay. What it covers, why this guide matters, a message of hope, which is really important. Okay. And then looking ahead. Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute, Mary. Thanks for asking. Okay. And then we have explaining chapter 7, when owning a home. Okay. So what is it? What do you need to know? Keeping your home, if you want to sell it, the simple steps. We want to make this easy for them to read, and we don't want them to get confused. Okay. Okay. Keep your home, sell your home, surrender your home. Okay. Moving forward. And then we have the same thing for chapter 13. Okay. All of this. Just really simple bullet points. We do not want to confuse them. I also don't want to confuse you guys as you're reading through this. Okay. Now, chapter 4 is, what are the steps to selling your home during? Well, we all know that in a chapter 7, you can't sell during, and that's explained to them. And then after. Okay. So it will take you through the 341 meeting, after the 341 meeting, important steps for selling, why it's important to hire someone who understands this process, challenges, okay? And then chapter 5 is going to cover 13, okay? Same thing, except what are the differences from a 7? The process, timing, keys to success, okay? And then this one is so important. Life after bankruptcy, your new beginning. So we really want people to know that this is just a season, that they can start fresh, and this is the start. They do the bankruptcy and then they sell the house. Okay. So we talk about all that and then we give them a message of hope. All right. So that is my secret weapon. I have lots of books, lots of resources that I've used over the years. They have been key, really. Why? Because really no other agents are using them. And 2, it's such valuable information, not only for the homeowners that are struggling, but also these attorneys that you're trying to build relationships with. Imagine walking into a bankruptcy attorney's office with this information. No other agent's doing that, right? So that is the way that I've built those relationships over the years with this. And now, because we have all of this data, okay, there's Mark. So that's the second time we've seen him. I need to reach out to Mark. He has these people that are in these bankruptcies, and I want to help Mark add value to his firm, which is me, and resources. The resources are all the books. Now, that's just one book, but because today's bankruptcy. Okay. All right, so let's take a sneak peek. This is what was launched. It took us 6 months to complete all of this, and I do want to just show you because I do think it's important. It is really the key to your success when you're starting off in these distress situations. How the heck do you go about it? And so I make it very easy. One of the ladies that just reached out to me said, this is like 6th grade. This is awesome. It's so easy and step by step. So anyone who's a part of the community can certainly, comment. But I wanted to give you a sneak peek of the bankruptcy lead generation and what it entails. Okay. So there's 19 modules. I wish we had the time to go over every single module because I love it, but we don't. So I'm going to highlight some of the modules for you and what's really truly important. Obviously, the leads are important. And so I will show you how to set up your account. These videos are all created by me. They're literally really super step by step. I had my kids who are almost 14 and 10 take a look. They could do it, okay? So I explain in further the leads, how to create those lists, which are these, okay? My list right here, see? How to create all those. And then, okay, so here is the training that I talked about. Property Radar, I have a very good relationship with. I've done a lot of trainings with them, and they are coming on live on Tuesday, not June, it's January, Heather, January 21st. And we have a registration link for that. It is, free if you're a part of this course. And so they're going to teach everything bankruptcy data. So while I do know how to set up the list, this is where you can ask questions. And they're going to tell us everything bankruptcy data. So that is going to be January 21st at 10 a.m. Central. They will send us the recording, and the recording is going to go in this lesson. Okay, so it will always be there. All right, so the marketing advertising. Well, we have a couple different things. We have the bankruptcy postcard. We have the bankruptcy letter. A couple of different options. Both really, really successful. My marketing and advertising have been successful over the years because I've done a lot of trial and error. I really know how to kind of put things together to educate these homeowners versus just like, hey, let's sell. Let's just put your house on the market. That's all I care about, is taking on another deal. No. And then the big one is the book that we just showed you. Okay. So you'll be able to either hire my design coordinator to edit it, or if you love Canva, it is all available for you in Canva. All right, and then we go into more specifics of these leads, how to create them, the QR codes, my verbiage for what I say in the QR codes. Organization is key. Look, if you are loving this, that is awesome, but it is not going to work for you unless you be consistent. How do you get consistent? When does Heather's team pull the data? How do we organize that? You have access to all of that, okay? How do we include proof of an auction if they still have one? Now, if they do have one and they're in a bankruptcy, well, the motion was probably lifted. How to organize. We have a weekly Google sheet that we use. On that Google sheet is where you're going to want to put all of the bankruptcy information. Big, remember, killing two birds with one stone, right? We do have an optional prep campaign. Text campaign if you want to implement that. And then we talk about the bankruptcy attorneys, okay? Specifically how to find them and organize them in Property Radar. Virtual and print options for this book right here. Best ways to connect with them, and then other resources for them. Remember, we want to go at them with the value. The value is you, okay? You are a part of this community. You understand the process. And you may not, that's okay. You probably still know more than the bankruptcy attorneys, okay? And then it will slowly take you through how to come up with a game plan for them, how to postpone an auction, pre-listing, listing, okay? I give you all of the documents. We have indemnity agreements, super, super easy and step-by-step, okay? Calls, well, we have a short sale intake sheet, all of that, okay? Well, here's the difference with a bankruptcy. So once you get the approval letter, here's the motion to sell. So how do you go about that, okay? That's where you're going to work hand in hand with the bankruptcy attorney. When you submit the short sale offer packet, oh, here it is. So it's under listing. So when you submit the authorization, you also have to submit the attorney consent letter. So we have a sample attorney consent letter because you may reach out to a bankruptcy attorney that has never done a real estate transaction ever. Those are the best, okay? Absolutely the best. John, I saved his firm many years ago. He is going to come on as a special guest in my community soon to talk about that and how we work. But I had to show him how to do an attorney consent letter. So that sample is in here for you. And just so you know, each of these has a video. So there's lots of videos. You can download everything, save it. Super, super easy. Okay. Some videos are 2 minutes. Some of them are 30. So that is everything. So when I say start to finish, it's all there. Okay. Even when you go to close the deal, then basically you're going to start over. And you're going to continue to be consistent and take on all of these bankruptcy leads, whether it's directly from the direct mail marketing or the bankruptcy attorneys. So super cool. All right. Questions on that? So let's talk about some other free stuff. So This course is completely brand new. And we have talked a lot about bankruptcies in my, even on this weekly power hour. And so we are focusing heavily on bankruptcies and trainings this winter and spring sessions. Okay. So starting Tuesday, so if you have access to this course, you'll be able to join us on our January 14th start. We are going to go through this course step by step, and we're going to start with module 1. So Tuesday, we'll probably be able to get through most of these, and then we will pause because the following Tuesday, we're going to have this training, and then we'll go back and start and go through all these. Okay. So it is going to take us several weeks to go through every single lesson. I don't want to rush it. We're going to take our time, and all of those sessions will be recorded, and it will be put in this module as another module. Okay. Module 20, the recordings. Okay. So that's going to be included. Plus we have the free bankruptcy data class, which is going to be Tuesday, January 21st. Okay. That is going to also be free. Yeah, Maya, you will in just a second. And then here's something else. Once you get the course, you'll get a confirmation email, and inside that confirmation email, you will have access to our brand new marketing, which was a collaboration with my coaching community. It is a flow chart. What is a flow chart and why is this important? Well, we realized in 2024 that a lot of families are in severe denial. They want to keep the property, but they can't, but they're trying everything. And so the flow chart is, I wonder if I can show a little sneak peek, but the flow chart is, okay, do you want to keep the property? If it's yes, then it will take them through the options, and they can either scan a QR code to read that option, or they can watch a video of you explaining that option. Okay. So that's important because if they don't have a job, the flow chart's going to take them the other way. So it really dives in deeper, but very simple for these families that are in denial. And that is important because, one, they need to understand this. No one else is telling them. They're just saying, oh yeah, pay me $7,500 and I'll do a loan mod, even though they don't detail their situation at all. Okay. So we want them to understand all of their options. One of those options are sell. Okay. And that's when you may need to come in, or you may need to, keep in touch with them with our follow-up plan for who knows how long, right? Lola, have you seen the flow chart yet? Yeah, okay. But it's really just a fabulous resource. So we're including that flow chart with our other marketing pieces in our weekly mailings. And so we just started that. The great thing is the QR code generator will keep track of who views it. It's really, really great. But no other agent is sending something like this. 100%, they're not. So the flow chart is great. And then the back also gives a message of hope. So I might be able to pull that up if we have a little bit of time, just to give you a quick sneak peek, but it's for course members. All right. So I have a discount code. So again, that class is going to start on Tuesday, okay? So if you are interested in taking bankruptcy leads to the next level, I promise you're not going to find anything else that is as good as our community and this course, okay? It took me 6 months to prepare all of this for you guys. So it is normally $667, but there's 20% off code until Monday night. Why am I doing till Monday night? Well, that class starts on Tuesday, and I really would love for you to be involved at the beginning. If you can't attend the classes, that is okay. Everything is recorded, so you could just go back and watch the recording. Just make sure you watch it. So it's BK 2025. And I know a lot of you have reached out before and they're like, wow, your prices are really good. Well, I want to help you, okay? I didn't start Blueprint Short Sales to just sell a bunch of products. I want to truly be able to help you. That is why the prices are like that, okay? So that price includes everything. You will get instant access to this course, okay? You could go through it, but I would recommend, trying to wait a little bit, and start with us on Tuesday, okay? But you do have instant access to the entire course. Plus, in the confirmation email from Stan, you'll have that flow chart, okay? And the flow chart has step-by-step details of everything. It has, I'll show you. Just remind me at the end, okay? Okay, so that is the discount code. So BK 2025, okay? So let me see here. Sorry, my son is home, super sick with the norovirus and everyone's asking. Okay, hold on, let me, so there's that, and then the code is BK 2025. I would recommend, it's a write-off for you guys. This is going to help you stand out in your market. You will get listings, but you have to be consistent. And that's where, our coaching community comes into play. And I'll talk about that in just a second. So Maya, there's a link to the blueprint. The live classes, Anita, we are focusing, starting Tuesday, we are going to carefully go through each of these lessons. I want, by the time this to be done, that you guys are super experts like me, okay, in the world of bankruptcy and selling and distress situations. The class starts on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central, okay? So that would be 11 Eastern. We have specific Zoom links. I will get you all of the information. And it's all recorded, okay? So we will start another module and all the recordings will go here, okay? Do you happen to have any information how to tailor this to loan officers? Well, here's the thing, Tracy, that's a great question. You could still provide that book to loan officers. You could. We also have other books inside of our store, which I really wasn't going to talk about that, but let me just show you real quick. We have two books. One of them is Ideas to Avoid Foreclosure, and the other one is The Ultimate Guide to Selling Your Home as a Short Sale. That would be in the top two books every distressed homeowner needs. So both of those books are editable in Canva, and that's $397. I don't have a discount right now for those because right now we're just focusing on bankruptcy. No, they're not harder to work with. They are actually super nice and super thankful for your expertise and your help and your empathy and your compassion. It is my all-time favorite lead source. I don't love dealing with divorce because, he said, she said thing. Oh, you are one, Tracy. Awesome. Yeah, so you could absolutely take advantage of those two books. The Ideas to Avoid Foreclosure are options. The flow chart is actually, so the flow chart is available in any of the courses that you purchase. So also a good option, but they are not harder to work with. The transaction can be a little bit tricky. That's why it's really, really important to be a part of my coaching community. So you don't have to be, but it's a great way to collaborate with everyone. It's a great way to have additional training. There's 3 years worth of recordings in there. It's a way to get your questions answered. And so that kind of leads me into the next thing. So yeah, this will be a discount until Monday night. Hopefully you join us, and then we'll go into more detail on Tuesday. So the final bonus gift would be joining the coaching community. So maybe you don't want to do the bankruptcy, but you want to come on and, just collaborate with us. That's great. You can do that. It's $20 a month and no commitments. No problem, Maya. We will email out the recording tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. So that's my biggest recommendation. If you want to add this type of lead source, do it. And I can connect you with other people in the community. There's really nothing out there like it. We are collaborating together. All of us came up with that flow chart. You want to be a part of the coaching community. If you don't like it, then you can leave. There's no commitments, but it's $20 a month. So I highly recommend doing that. And then getting into this into this course, which ultimately will put you in the live bankruptcy class, which will be several weeks down the road. Okay. Now, any questions? Now, Tracy, are you only a loan officer, or do you have your license, your real estate license too? Okay. Um, I would say the bankruptcy, obviously, you can't give loans to people in bankruptcy, right? I got my first chapter, so I wanted to learn more. Yeah. Um, we're still a great resource. So you could absolutely, you could get the books if you wanted. I haven't worked with others besides, agents, but the resources that we have are so valuable to homeowners that need help and to really understand their options. We really don't go about it as like, hey, let's have you sell right away. Okay. We really want to help educate. Yeah. So I will send an email out to everyone that registered. And so you have that time. I know like don't expect you to do it right now, but I will send out an email. Like I said, my son is home right now with the norovirus. So I'm gonna check on him and then I will get the recording out. I will send the links to the coaching community and the course. And then I want you to contact me if you have any questions. So I'm going to put my email in here. If you want to send an email, you don't want to wait. So it may be a day or so before I get out the full email. If you want something today, I'd be happy to respond to an email. So if you want to email me, it's info@blueprintshoresales.com. So shoot me over an email and I can get you all the information quicker. And I can answer any additional questions. I love questions, but one final thing is I appreciate all of you joining. I know bankruptcy can be a little bit scary and it's like a different type of niche. If you are organized, or maybe you're not organized, you will once you come in here. We will teach you how to be consistent. We will teach you how to get organized. There is a system. I put all of that in place. You do not have to prepare anything on your own. Obviously, you have to get the letters and stuff out and build the relationships. I can't do that for you, but it is all here for you. So I can promise if you come on and you actually do this, it'll work. You just got to do it. So if there's any other questions, let me know. Otherwise, shoot me over an email and I can get everything to you quicker. And I appreciate you attending. So I actually have so Casey, let me show you. You're welcome, Ashley. So if you want to see, here's the overview on how to use the bankruptcy card. Here's how to edit it. Okay, so here's the video on how to edit the postcard. And then, oops, it will let you download the postcard. And like I said, all of it is editable in PDF. I'm sorry, a Canva. Okay, so how to edit it. Okay, and then ordering the postcard. So I do have a discount with my printing company here. So we encourage you to set up an account with them. So I take you through that. Hey, if you can save some money, have at it, right? And then it will show you all the supplies that I've used and I link everything. So super, super easy. Melanie, I know that you got one of the courses, so I need to connect with you. So I'll message you on Facebook. So yes, this isn't just come on board and I'll tell you how to create your own stuff. All the stuff that I've used, it is right here. We have the letter. Okay, so I have the QR code and the transcripts on what I say, how to edit. Okay, it's all right there. And then ordering your bankruptcy letter, all of it. So it's really, really great. And plus the book, everything is there. Okay. Mary, I actually have a free group. We do these weekly trainings. It's still great information. So you can join there if you would like. So yeah, Casey, if you have do you have any other questions? But I do give you the templates for everything, the letters, the postcards, and then the book. You'll be able to click the link and it will take you to Canva and you can edit yourself. I also, you're welcome. Don't forget to email me, info@blueprintshortsales.com. You can also hire my design coordinator if you don't like editing anything in Canva. Otherwise, super easy, very easy to implement. The videos aren't always that long, so it's great. All right, any other questions? All righty, I see that some of you have already emailed me. So like I said, I'm gonna go check on my son, make sure he's good, and then I will start sending out those emails to you. And I look forward to seeing a lot of you next week. Jackie, I know that we have a meeting on Monday to chat. So we'll do that. And it looks like Melanie already logged off. I will stay on just a couple minutes in case there's any other questions. Otherwise, again, thanks for joining me. Bye, everyone.